Trees. Trees! Pixel art trees come in so many different shapes, sizes, and levels of functionality in 2D platformers. Most of the time, trees in video games function much the same way as they do in real life. Something you walk past and glance up at occasionally with a sense of wonder before continuing on your way. But occasionally, a tree can be something so much more, as much a part of the environment that you as the character explore as the ground, the cliffs, the fields, and all the other fascinating environments that we've come to love in video games. I remember as a kid we had this one enormous tree in our side yard that my cousins and I used to climb nearly to the top. I remember figuring out how to make my way up to the lowest branches at first, and then every subsequent attempt being a little more daring and going a little higher, until the branches got so thin that there was nothing left to stand on at its highest points. Perhaps this is where my fascination with trees in video games stems from. And so today, we're going to take a look at how we can create a rather simple tile set for our 2D platformer game, Element Zero, that we can then use to create enormous trees for our player to explore, leaping from branch to branch in a tangled maze hidden in the canopy of a corrupted ancient forest. Welcome to Red Prism. To start off with, I've built a set of leaf tiles that can be combined fairly nicely no matter which way you arrange them. And I'm going to show you how, using just this set of 4 tiles and some rather simple variations, we can create essentially any combination of canopy platforms that can be imagined. From these initial tiles, we're going to create various slopes and decoration pieces as well. I only use 2 variations for the slope pieces and try to alternate them when we go to paint these tree layers into Godot. This tile set is really all you need to give a fairly good illusion that you spent a ton of time hand drawing this whole environment.
And it'll drive people crazy trying to figure out how you got all that detail in your painting. Shh, it's our secret. Don't tell them.
This same concept is then carried forward and used to create a small set of tree bark tiles, which we will use to connect all of our platforms and give them a believable backdrop to anchor them to our world. The reason I'm not painting in Godot with these tiles quite yet is because in Sprite, we can draw out a large sample area of our environment to flesh out any small adjustments that need to be made to our tile set, and make those changes on the fly directly into our sprite sheet. We can also take this environment that we draw out in Sprite and copy it piece for piece as our first section of this zone of our game to help us get started. Figuring out how to get started taking a tile set and turning it into a full level is a daunting task. I've found that getting started in Sprite can help to alleviate some of that artist's block and get the creative juices flowing a little more quickly because of that ability to immediately fix things that don't quite look right. And also because I find just the act of moving, copying, and manipulating tiles in Sprite to be far more simple than it is using a tile editor in a game engine. I think we're at a point now that we can confidently say that this tile set is going to work as we intended. Let's move over to Godot now and start piecing this thing together for real. This part is always a little more difficult and time-consuming than you think it will be at first glance. That's because we need to keep our player in check as he ascends the tree. Every platform has to be planned out so that our character can't skip ahead in the sequence, and also so that we're not bonking our head or unable to jump across a certain gap, while at the same time making sure that there are larger platforms that we can place enemies on, as well as challenging sections where the jumps are difficult but fair. At this point, I was contemplating how in the world our player is supposed to get up to these branches in the first place. That's when I decided that, since this forest is corrupted and sort of decaying rapidly, it might make sense that some of the heavier branches may have broken away and fallen into the swamp below, giving our player a handy entry point up to the canopy. My friend also suggested that I add falling platforms that were mixed in with the static platform branches. So I decided that these broken lower branches would be a perfect place to add some in for an additional risk for our player. I also decided early on while creating this tile set that I would give these trees a little flavor by adding in corrupted sap flowing from the branches that I've decided to call the rust. This is a phenomenon on this planet that I'll expand on as I delve deeper into the story and lore of Element Zero. For now, just know that it's something that you should probably avoid. Below the pools, I just used the same 4-tile set, except the darkest inner color is swapped for a red color to look like the rust is flowing through the leaves and branches. We're going to finish the look by also adding some rust tiles behind our transparent bark texture and inside of these knots to really sell the look that this tree is being fully corrupted. To finish this video, let's run the game and make our way up to the top of our new, very old, very corrupted tree. By the way, let me know in the comments below if you'd like me to make a comprehensive video on how I created those falling platforms. I know there were several tutorials on making falling platforms in Godot, but I know they're mostly missing all of the other details after the initial fall that I had to figure out for myself. Things like how to create a dissolve sprite, and how to reset the platform and all of the physics objects so the player isn't trapped if they don't make a jump. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at how we can use a relatively simple sprite sheet to build out nearly any kind of tree you can imagine to add an exciting and beautiful exploration feature to our game. If you'd like to continue seeing more educational content about game development from the channel, as well as support Element Zero's continued development, please remember to drop a like on the video and subscribe so you don't miss any future updates that I have in the pipeline. That's all for now. Peace.